Well, our studio gets real busy on a Thursday morning these days because thanks to the folks at BCFresh who want you to sample loads of BCFresh veggies, we've got some real top chefs coming in here, and we have the man, well, he's the Admiral, really. He's the we had you as royalty, the Prince of Potatoes earlier on. Now we've got you as the Admiral. Chuck Currie is the executive chef at White Spot. You know him surely from all the TV commercials that you see. You came in, you talked about BC Fresh, and you and I said something actually during a break, which was BC Fresh and BC Local has always been around. It's just now we're starting to think about it.
Well, they've changed their name. It's a great name, BC Fresh. I can't remember. It used to be Lower Mainland Vegetable Distributors, which is not quite as sexy as BC Fresh, is it? And I guess that's the whole thing. The food is getting more sexy and getting more noticed. And there's a move towards slow food and local food, which is always been there, but it's getting more press, which is great.
Okay, the panel is lined up. What have you made for us? What are you making for us?
Well, we brought you some burgers along with these garlic fries, and we're still waiting for the shortening to come into temperature because you got to treat these potatoes with respect.
Oh.
Nice high temperature seals in all that great flavor. But while we're waiting for that, we brought over some of my favorite burgers to go with them.
Now, I see that you're in
This is promoted right now. There's, Melissa Craig has a favorite burger, and John Bishop. They're two of our celebrity guest chefs.
Yeah, well,
and
I know
then they
that
forced me to tell me what my favorite burger is. So please go down and have one of these today. So at least some of my favorite burger sells. This is good Cambozola cheese and sauteed portobello mushrooms.
You chef guys, you've got big egos, and I see that on your menu here, John Bishop's burger is ahead of yours. Yours is tucked away in the back to the right.
Well, John's just a more important guy than me. And, John was a pioneer on BC Fresh and Local. And he's taught us some things at White Spot when he comes and works with us every year. Other
people might say, well, you just said treat a potato with respect. People say, well, it's a lowly potato. Who needs what's the secret of cooking these? The best fries, what's the secret?
Well, we have tried different sizes, all the way up from those little tiny sort of McDonald's fries all the way up to the big guys. And the big guys actually do come out crisper and hold their heat longer. So we use a nice big half-inch cut Kennebec potato. And they're cut for us fresh every day, delivered, and then we blanch them a little bit in shortening to pre-prep them, and then to drop them again at a higher temperature.
I think some chefs are in a bit of a fight over what is the best oil to use for fries.
Well, we use the good old Canadian canola oil, and with no trans fats in it. And some people will say peanut oil. Some people, actually, your background back in your day in England, of course, it was in beef lard.
Beef lard,
which has fantastic flavor.
Yeah.
Might not exactly be considered the best thing for you.
you have a pile of them, and then the next thing you know, you fall over. But
I'm not so sure if there's enough cattle out there these days for people to be cooking French fries and beef lard.
And the temperature of the oil?
Low temperature for blanching in the pre-prep stages, like 300 degrees, and 375 degrees to finish them off, so they're really, really crispy and seals in the flavor better.
Okay, Mullen and Amy Jane, you've tucked in. I can't do this. My mouth would be too full. Last week I tried it, and I couldn't talk.
No, you should try it again. We'd appreciate that.
Cambozola cheese and broiled portobello mushrooms.
Cambozola cheese, my favorite cheese of all time, really. And to combine it with this is over the moon.
Over the moon,
Fantastic
okay.
burger.
Mullen's over the moon. One last word about garlic mayo. How do you make garlic mayo?
Well, first of all, get really nice, fresh, local garlic. Chop it up finely. We mix it with some lemon juice and lots of chopped fresh basil. I'm not sure if the people on the podcast could see this here, but there's just tons of beautiful fresh chopped basil in there. So it's really refreshing. We dip our fries in the sautéed garlic and then in the basil aioli.
We thank you for coming in. Nice to meet Chuck Currie from White Spot and our good friends at BC Fresh.